Season's greetings and welcome to Two Balls and a Mic, brand new spanking episode here in San Diego. We are back for another edition of your number one People's Pod soccer podcast in San Diego. San Diego is getting an MLS team. Is this confirmed? We will go ahead and get into all the latest news, the breakdowns of everything that's been happening here. We are poised to hear a little bit more this week as far as MLS happens here in the America's finest city. We're also going to go ahead and talk about Toros RGV coming into Torero Stadium, beating San Diego Loyal 3-2, a little bit more generous of a score line than I think, but we're going to go ahead and get into that with the great Alan Underwood over Zoom. We're also going to go ahead and talk about the San Diego Wave going over to Kansas City, getting their first victory against the Kansas City team, the first time that they're able to beat the Kansas City team. They win 2-0. Bel Brady getting her first goal right there. We're also going to go ahead and talk about La Champions League, but of course, El Clásico de Clásicos, Las Chivas del Guadalajara, making it to the semifinal, playing against Los Pollitos, El América, the Mexican Derby, El Clásico de Clásicos, Final Four time over in La Liga MX. Season greetings. Welcome to everybody who's sat down patiently. Really appreciate that.
Thank you for letting us know about the audio glitch.
We have the best listeners for many reasons. But yeah, so one of the things that I like to always kind of let everybody know is how thankful we are for San Diego to put us here in this situation. They've been listening. They've been asking for it. They've been poised to be, they're ready for soccer content.
Yes.
Something I think the people are ready. I don't think the infrastructure is necessarily there for what's ultimately going to be incoming here to San Diego very, very, very soon. I think we could say sources have confirmed that MLS is coming to San Diego. Announcement to be made in midweek coming up. So look out for that. We're hopefully going to get some coverage of whatever it is that means. So I think, with the statement from San Diego Loyal, from Andrew Vasiliades on that, and we'll kind of touch on that when the great Alan Underwood joins us over on Zoom. I want to make sure that everybody, is kind of up to speed, up to date with what's been happening. In terms of MLS today, there was, a story that came out over on the Times over in the UK, right? So things are happening, Chiva. And I said, I don't know if San Diego is necessarily equipped to handle what's coming. The initial rumors, everything that's kind of already been known. It's the unwritten rules and unspoken, has people feeling some kind of way.
It's just based on what the coverage has been so far, right? The people that get to write all these soccer articles, they're not soccer people. And you can tell when it comes to the writing. I mean, we've seen Tom's work for the UT and including the Chargers.
Include us, bro. It's fine.
Mentioning the Chargers every freaking article. It's got to be better. It's not where it needs to be for MLS for sure. And that's what we're trying to be here. We're trying to get that coverage out. Whether it means we're going to have to start writing soon, maybe, who knows. But MLS is here. It's happening. That's a done deal. There's still that small chance that maybe it doesn't happen, right? I mean, anything can happen.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it's going to. Is there something about MLS that you liked, that you don't like, that you're like, when I think MLS, I always compare it to Liga MX, just because it's right there.
Yeah. You've known Liga MX your whole life.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, but for me, there's some things about MLS that I'm like, I think it's growing. I think it's getting better. But is there something that you don't like about it? Maybe you do.
I don't watch it enough to have a set opinion on it.
That's gonna change.
Very honest. Yeah, it's gonna change. Part of the reason I never chose LA Galaxy or LA
me
or LAFC
too. And
is
I'm from
because
LA,
of this exact same reason. I always knew MLS is going to come to San Diego one day. Am I going to be a fan? I don't know. I couldn't do Cholos because I'm already a Chivas fan. I couldn't do that.
Yeah.
The San Diego Chargers no longer exist. We've talked about this ad nauseum, but San Diego has never had a MLS team. Now that doesn't mean that San Diego hasn't had San Diego professional soccer teams, and I think we've done our end, certainly for some teams more than others. As far as coverage and done, what we can as far as amplifying the message of everything that's happening here in San Diego. That doesn't mean, especially with Andrew Vasiliades, and I think that's, everybody read his his statement, and we'll get into that when
I spoke to him after the match too.
Yeah,
yeah.
How was that?
We'll mention it when Alan
joins.
Okay.
Part of
the Two Balls
Sounds good.
Special. But yeah, I think MLS. I mean, same here. I don't pay attention to it as much as I should be, right? But I never picked LA Galaxy or LAFC to become a fan just because I wasn't attracted to the league. Obviously, that's all going to change with this MLS team now coming to San Diego, because I have to pay attention to it now, and which I'm excited about, because it's going to, honestly, I think for both of us, it's going to like expand our mindset when it comes to the U.S. soccer even more. Like, we didn't know shit about the USL, and now we know a lot about San Diego Loyal and how the USL
I say
operates.
No, even lower, UPSL, man. Like
UPSL,
how things work here is so structured in the fact that it's like everything is sanctioned. Everything there's so many safety rules. Like in TJ, you can start up a league in a dirt field with rocks. Like let's just get a referee out there. Yeah, sure, that happens in pockets here in the city, but just the soccer model in the States is so different. And I grew up in it. I saw the pay to play system in Mexico, and I saw just if you want to make it to a certain place, you either have to know somebody or just be. And that's the thing. Like, oh, I'm just bitter. Like, no, like there was other people that were better than me. I'm pretty sure the backup goalkeeper for the Chihuahua Savage indoor team is my 1-2 goalkeeper. Like I was his 1, I was his 2. So all that effort, see what it got you, Islas.
And you only hope that this team is able to compete, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we've seen it where, I mean, you see Inter Miami coming in, and I mean, you don't hear much about them. They're not all that. LAFC was probably one of the teams that did it the best coming in as an expansion, right? Like they come in, they just won their first title. And I mean, we all know San Diego has that history about sports where no se les da un campeonato, like unless you're the Sockers.
Yeah.
But it's going to be exciting to see if they can do it the right way. And that includes being very much community based, because as we all know, as people from San Diego, that's very important to the fan base.
I mean, and I have Michael here saying one good thing about MLS will bring the more resources in local soccer media. So that's very true. So far the landscape is pretty empty, and you have very few people out there who are actually paying attention to it outside of, say, us, EV Times, Everything San Diego, and I think that's part of the alternative media, sports media scene that we kind of have here. Of course, you have Chase over at KUSI who's out there, and so just people taking exception to it was spliced and diced in different ways. The story of it is, but again, you have, así lo dejo. But it's there. But at the end of the day, that's going to bring a lot of more people, more eyes, more resources, as you're saying, Michael, here in San Diego. And I think something that our stance, right? Like we've built this for however many years. We've been in the trenches. We've spoken with people. We've made networking. We've made connections. And I think it's fair to say that we've done our fair share of coverage, and it's thanks to the great people that have guided us and giving us pointers and put us in different places, right? But as far as the MLS right now, the group is already meeting with people, and they're meeting with different groups and different focus points, and so that's something that's already in the works. I don't know what this is. It was a gut punch for a lot of people just this last week, as far as like, oh, so it's over. It's not over.
It's not.
It's gonna be a challenge at the end of the day.
And I do have some questions I want to ask, like people that are diehard loyal fans as well. It's just if any of you want to put in the comment, if there's, I mean, we know people personally, right, that are very excited for this MLS expansion team, and they express that with us. And we've asked them, well, why haven't you been like involved with Loyal or gone to the Loyal game? And some answers are, well, I heard about Andrew Carlton and I didn't really like that and I don't want to support that or something like that. And that's very fair. Also, we've heard, hey, you know what? Like it's not the top level. I want to see the top level, and it's not. And I mean, in a way, that's also fair.
Right? Yeah.
In a way, I get it. You got to support local soccer. But if people become fans of this new MLS team, is that just a reason to really hate on them?
I mean, no.
Right.
Everybody can be their own fan, their own way. And I mean, that's part of the reason why. Look, the MLS wishes it could be the Premier League. Liga MX wishes it could be the Premier League.
Yeah, but
everybody wishes it could be the Premier League.
Let's be realistic. It's not going to get there.
But what's good about that is the rivalries, the hatred, the passion, the disgust, the like. Manchester, sabes que toma, güey. Like
the San Diego versus LA rivalry is gonna be there now. Like,
yeah, it's gonna be there. But what I'm saying, as far as locally, right? Like, it's just such a weird place to be, right? Like, you're this group of people that fought for Soccer City. Soccer City no pasó. Now the whole San Diego State thing happens. So there's a riff right there. Yep. Then you go later and you have Loyal just kind of out of those ashes. Boom, 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 boom. They come on up, and what happens now? They build this thing for the last 4 years. It's nice and cozy. I think that looking back later, however this pans out, however this turns out, it's one of those things where people are going to look back at the way this USL organization, Loyal, was run. They listened, they this and this and this, and they're going to miss that. And I think that's one thing that everybody has already said and has been saying for years, that you're going to miss this. Having such input. And so it's one of the things where I sympathize with those people that got what they wanted, but at what cost? Like, at what originally you wanted MLS? Stop. You have it now. Like, you have it, but now you're going to be, you have this thing that they've helped build that gets crushed because of it. So I think that's the unfair part in all this. And I think, nothing is fair, and it is what it is, type of thing sometimes, but it really sucks. And on the other end, right, like, you have this group that's coming in, like, billions of dollars involved, right? Already articles are coming out again.
Mohamed Mansour?
Mansour, yeah. Mohamed Mansour. So, I mean, this is already a story here of the times. And so this is just kind of like, not necessarily picking or taking sides, or like, this is bad. This clearly there are things that are not going to be agreed upon, and the means are nefarious, perhaps. In that's the reality of things. This is what's incoming here. Is it completely opposite of what, say, a San Diego Loyal stands for? Like, local this, local that. Not the locals, but just local. And then in that situation, right, you have Mansour who's coming in, and then you have Siquan that's also helping them. So the sponsor, one of the sponsors of San Diego Loyal, some of the premium group seatings, the Siquan area behind the goal of Coque Vegas for a half, underneath the 109 supporters, is part of the group that's
bringing
MLS. So, I mean, I don't know. I really don't know. I've talked with people at the club as well. I've spoken to people who are in and or around. And I mean, one of the sources, right? Like, I think it came out from somewhere else, but I'm looking at this like in a different way. Like, what soccer people do this? I'd love to speak to people, but if not, I will go ask city developers. I will go ask the people, my connections that I have as a civilian outside of this realm.
Yeah.
And, there are sources that are saying that, aside from what I heard, specifically from government, that the MLS is already looking and pretty deep conversations for the Gaylord project here on J Street Marina in Chula Vista. And so the Gaylord project was already in the works. For
my rent's gonna go up more.
You live right there. I mean, we all live right here in the South Bay, right?
That
for those of you that don't know, on J Street Marina there used to be what's it called?
Power plant?
A power plant that we all got woken up for because they blew it up without warning anybody. They blew it up with TNT in the first thing at 7 a.m.
I remember my mom, todos tírense al piso. Yeah. My mom thought we were under attack, dude. Like, it was like 6, 7 in the morning. Tírense al suelo.
Oh, man.
I just threw myself on the ground. I didn't know what the fuck that was.
But so that's essentially the land that's being developed, and so. There are people saying this and that, but I mean, I've also had that source confirm that those are conversations. And so if that's going to be the case and it's going to be the battle for the South Bay, and I don't know what San Diego Loyal is essentially going to do. I have inklings. I've been told some things, and I don't want to give half truths essentially, because again, I'm not in the rumor business. I'm in the, okay, well, this happened. I was told this. I can relay it, but, at the end of the day, I don't know what I don't know what to do, Chiva.
Someone's saying, yeah, near L Street Storage is where they want to build it. So you're telling me I'm gonna have to give up my storage unit for this? I'm anti-MLS now, Tony.
Because of your storage unit?
I have to get a new storage unit? Damn it.
Wasn't Loyal the one who made 1904 kind of
they
full?
folded themselves.
Yeah, it was a sell. Yeah,
It was
self-fold.
Hazard and Demonbauer weren't present enough.
Yeah, straight up.
Like, that's what it was.
A cause for those kinds of mentality towards lower leagues is due to the failure of the USSF to grow and demonstrate its value. So here's another aspect of all this, right? So MLS is coming in. They're going to bring their infrastructure, right? They're going to bring their academies, their opportunities that are going to come out of this, right? You're going to have local talent that instead of going to Orange County, going to Utah, going to Austin, and literally San Diego Loyal with CJ Fodry, like you have your MLS team that is now here. You can build that. However, and this is what was interesting this week. So many people giving us information, so many sources, and so many like. Okay, like all right, like thanks for that info. I didn't need to know. Oh, okay, all right. Very thankful for those individuals.
And honest, with all full transparency, we would tweet stuff, and we would say breaking this and this. But at the same time, we don't like to put stuff out there unless we are 100% sure of it. So if any of you ask yourself, well, how come Two Balls and a Mic is not tweeting about it, blah, blah, blah. We don't do anything until we 100% sure that we're in the green light to do it.
Yeah.
Because we don't want to give false information to anyone. We want to make sure that we're the most reliable source out there. And we have been for the past 3 years.
100%. And so, again, this is all moving fast. And what I want to talk about is the academy, right? The academy that's going to be coming in. It can help. But at the same time, it can landlock players here where they would have other opportunities. The rights of those players can be snagged up very early on, and now boom, they're part of MLS San Diego, whatever it's going to be called. San Diego. That's the thing. San Diego Loyal also has this Loyal Select program. So what's going to happen there? Landon Donovan is staying with San Diego Loyal, saying that he's going to stay and he believes in this and he believes in that, and building the younglings. Look, the reality of it is that it's going to be tough as hell. Being able to survive. I don't know how they're going to do it. I don't know how many people are going to go. I don't know how many people are going to reject MLS to go. I don't know if there's a way to have both work at the same time, right? We don't know, right? 1904, it was weird because the first game that they were back playing at Lincoln High School was the first game and only game, just like San Diego Loyal, before the pandemic. They just couldn't survive it. They came back and were structured as San Diego Albion. Is San Diego Loyal going to be that local club now that is, farming this team, but now you're in competition with San Diego Albion? Like that's more your gear. Be the best that you can be as far as, USL Championship goes. Mind you, there is still, I think there's still 2 years from what we're hearing before a ball rolls for San Diego MLS, whatever. So focus on what you have in front of you at this point immediately.
I'll tell you this, though. San Diego Loyal, the best thing they can do for themselves right now is make sure they're winning games.
Yeah,
and we're going to get on this game soon, but it's a lot of problems that the MLS has, right, that I've been hearing where – one, you don't have the relegation promotion because you don't want to get involved with USL. I mean, that sounds just like a stupid idea. Work together. Yeah, have the MLS, USL second division, and have a relegation promotion thing.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, money talks, and the league is going to protect the millionaires that are taking over. Billionaires. And that's just the American way of sports, if we're being fully honest, and sports in general.
It's in your backyard, and that's one of the things, right? Like, I think I wrote some notes here. I think so.
Notes. I like that.
I mean, do the ends justify the means, right? Like you see all these things coming out about Monster Group and the troubling, stuff that's coming out there. At the same time, you have Saquon, right? Like, how more local do you want to be than the Saquon band of the Kumeyaay Nation? Literally, they were all here before us.
Sure.
Que más local quieres? But
I mean, imagine if an NHL team comes in and what happens to what's the team called?
The Gulls are an affiliate of the Ducks, so it's like the Segunda, like that's their feeder thing. So,
cool.
I mean, there's just so much that kind of is up in the air with that. But yeah, it's coming down. There's a lot of nervousness. There's a lot of angst happening. Official, we don't know yet, but it's gonna be a bumpy ride.
I think at the end of the day, for what the San Diego fan base have been to be very accepting to be this, you also need to understand that this is going to bring a lot of new fans as well to soccer in San Diego. There's going to be people that just didn't identify with Loyal. Yeah. And it's not a bad thing to not identify with them.
Yeah.
We know a lot of like people that look like La Raza that they're like, it's too white for me. I don't want to go. And then maybe this MLS team has that more of a Latino vibe to it.
Mm-hmm.
You never know. And that could attract a lot more people. I still think there's nothing wrong with that. I still think you're able to follow who you want to follow. So I would say just try to keep an open mind when it comes to fan bases in general. There's no need to try to trash talk or be like, oh, well, we're loyal to the soil, this and this and this. You weren't here from the start. Embrace it. Let's grow the community, right? Why not? We're going to have USL, NWSL, MLS, and MASL, NISA League.
If there's anywhere where it's going to work, and I think this is what I've said since everything kind of ramped up, is that it's going to work in San Diego. You asked Landon until San Diego Loyal is no more. That's when he'll, jump on. It's going to be, it would be a matter of time.
Is this good for the city?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah.
It is.
It's good for the city. It's good for soccer in the region. And my thing is, and I think this has always been the case, I just don't want anybody to get taken advantage of, even though that not every box is going to get checked. And I know for a fact that, people are going to be overlooked, stepped over, and some sects and areas will not be heard and will not be listened to. Mm-hmm. And honestly, that's kind of our job in this job. I don't know. And that's what we want, right? Like, we want San Diego soccer to be respected. We want the sport to be cherished for what it is. It's a resource, right? Mm-hmm. It's a resource for many things, for fun, it's an outlet. It's how people make a living. It's how people, have an escape. It's how people, just go out for a weekend, go out on a date. Like, really, like it's really not just the game at times, but in the simplest form. And I think this last week somebody DM'd me and it was like, hey man, like you said, like, yeah, it's just a game. And that really resonated with me. I'm like, I appreciate that DM, but it's true. Like, for as much as you and I care, it's a game. It's un pinche juego. I'm emotionally removed enough to be able to recognize this as it is. Does everything around it seem like it could be improved on? Yeah, but I'm going to control what I can control, and people are going to control what they can control. They can control in trying to contribute and raise the spirits and cheer for their local team and cheer for San Diego Loyal and try to, convince people and have discussions of like, hey, bring us up. So I don't know how these things work. If Saquon is going to be part of this MLS, why can't San Diego Loyal get snuck bought by Saquon? And then when Mansour comes in, he's like, oh, my new MLS team. Like, Saquon's already like, I got you. And then they buy him. And then there's a soul. Because again,
sounds easy, right?
It sounds way too easy.
It sounds way too easy. I'm sure it's a lot more complicated than that.
Put me in the boardroom, guys. But yeah,
Tony,
I mean,
the businessman.
Yeah, just put me in there. Again, this is opportunities for rivalries. And I mean, why can't it? Yeah, why can't it work here? Because it's really important for that. And I think this is now the time where if you're the MLS group, if that's you, if you're part of it, hi, season's greetings,
Tony, Alejandro El Chiva,
Jose Antonio.
Estimados.
Just know that there's a lot of people that are willing to support soccer in the city. There's a lot of people with very strong choices. San Diego, sports wise, is not the best. It's not the best.
That's true.
So, I mean, if you're coming in and your aim is to bring a championship to the city of San Diego, even if that's just the smokescreen, right? Like, oh, I want to bring a championship. Or if it's literally, we just want to churn out products and then just sell them and make a profit, whether that means tickets, whether that means money, whether that means whatever, like, just be respectful of the sport here, because it's,
there were people that told me I can't afford an MLS season ticket.
That's wild. Yeah.
And that's a very good point, right? I mean,
and that's the thing. I
like payment plans.
I hear you, Alicia, and this is something that, obviously a big part of their family's life is coming down to Torero, and they live up in Escondido. And Escondido to Torero is not a short drive, and Escondido to Chula Vista might be even more of a stretch, right? But on the converse, I think of people, right, who are LAFC fans. Mm-hmm. I know so many people that are willing to go from here to LA to watch a soccer game on a weekly basis.
Y por qué? Y por the talent of players you can bring. Carlos Vela. They brought Garrett Bell. You got Chiellini. Like, guys, there's a chance we have Karim Benzema playing in San Diego.
I mean,
there's a chance we can have.
Bro, I mean, Mo Salah. I don't know if that's
Kylian
been thrown
Mbappe.
Up, and I would hate for that.
In 10 years, Kylian Mbappe can come to San Diego. Like, I mean, those are possibilities now.
But that's
the thing.
That's something that we've been privy to, and one thing that we are grateful for is people putting us in positions and helping us put us in positions. And one of the things that was huge was putting Andrew Carleton in that seat. Because the people asked for it. The people wanted to hear from him. They made it happen, helped us out tremendously by making that happen and having a really good discussion with him.
I want Karim Benzema in here.
But, I mean, I really think that at this point it's one of those things where...
¿Qué pasó? ¿A dónde vas? Oh, ¿qué pasó?
Hi, MLS. My name is Tony Sanchez. I am part of Two Balls and a Mic podcast, and I want to make sure that it comes across that we really care about the community here in San Diego that's been built, the soccer-wise. I've been part of the soccer community in the fabric in this cross-border area and region for about 30 years. That's how old I am, and so I've pretty much been in the know for some of these things, and I think it's time that Two Balls and a Mic be involved in some of these discussions, because I think we have a wealth of knowledge and know that at the end of the day, we have a lot of people behind us, and we can help out with bridging those gaps if that's something that you want. If it doesn't work for you and another team, that's fine. That's not me dinero, güey. But at the end of the day, we have this thing that we've built, and I think it's very, very inclusive. It's incumbent for you to be inclusive of Two Balls and a Mic and have a discussion here. There's a seat here. We haven't heard anything from MLS. That's part of the issue, to be completely honest. There's secret meetings, and so that's one thing. But yeah, have there be an announcement? Take a seat here, and I really hope that at the end of the day, go for it. At the end of the day, you can trust us with having soccer in mind. We're trying to make the World Cup in 2026, and that's one thing that I really hope that we're able to do, and we're thankful for everybody in every single step along the way. As I keep this monologue in camera here, we'll soon be switching it over to Alan Underwood on Zoom, talking about San Diego Loyal. But I implore, MLS, the seat's right here. Come on down. We have Zoom technologies. We will go to you. Let's have this discussion. Let's talk about the important things. Let's talk about making money. How are you going to profit from us? That's fine. Whatever it is that you want, let's have a discussion, an open discussion, and hear your side of things. We've heard things from other people. Now it's time to hear from you. We'll find out later this week, and let's welcome soccer in all facets here in San Diego. because that's what matters. It's about the city, right, Chiba?
Absolutely.
With that, I think it's time to bring on the great and powerful Alan Underwood.
This isn't Zoom.
Alan Underwood.
This is not Zoom.
Can you hear us, Alan?
I can hear you.
Is it too loud?
It's a little loud, but I don't mind.
What about now?
Ooh, that's sexy.
Perfect. Oh my God, we got Alan Underwood in the flesh.
I like this new setup. I've seen it in. Oh, it's not on.
Did you turn it off, Tony?
Absolutely.
Damn.
There we go. Oh, I can hear
Wow.
myself now. Yeah,
Amazing.
I've seen this setup on the internets with other people coming in, and so I really like this setup. It's nice.
I mean,
It's a good vibe,
at Young the Ryan.
right?
It's Jack Metcalf.
Right. That's what I was like on the way here. I was like, I'm gonna sit where Jack Metcalf's at.
Absolutely.
And
absolutely.
and
No, he was there. You're fine. He was
Okay.
there. You want to use the restroom? Andrew
I'm
Carlton
good.
did that.
oh.
But welcome
Thank you.
down south.
Yeah.
How was jury duty?
Good.
Are you allowed to talk about it?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't get put on a jury.
Did he do it?
Was he guilty?
It was a civil case. It was a civil case. So I got put into what are the alternate spots,
Oh,
and then with the last kind of dismissal, the defense attorney was like, "We're gonna excuse Mr. Underwood," and I was like, "All right." It was only gonna be like a couple days, so I was like, "If I get picked, it's all right." But it meant that I got to stay one more day in San Diego, and that's always great. Like the weather right now is like perfect, like sweater weather, a little bit chilly. This is what you pay all the money for. There's like, oh, this is what it's not sunny, so you're not. This is the sun tax. I was like, what are you talking about? Like this is, I like this because it's gonna be gross soon up in Riverside. So I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm really enjoying this coolness. So
Oh, for sure.
I was just in Mexicali over the weekend. It was 100 degrees, 101 degrees. It was not pleasant. And then people over there were like, nah, it's not even hot. Like, because they're used to 120 degrees.
yeah, and with El Nino coming, it might be pretty warm down there.
Yeah, I mean, Tatis has been hitting pretty weekly. The whole Padres team needs to pick it up. So El Nino needs to arrive.
Yes,
Soon.
I agree. Although Waka's like I was listening to the game on the way down, and Waka's doing really well
Okay.
right now. Only allowed 2 base runners, so I don't want to jinx it. He might have already given up something, but a walk and a hit Batman. It's all right.
All right. Well,
Yeah.
I mean, we were kind of, just going over, hell yeah, essentially some of the MLS talk and,
Yeah.
and
I missed you guys at
updates.
the game.
Yeah, I was eating delicious sushi, like so good.
Was it good?
It was like a symphony in my mouth. That's how delicious it was.
Hell yeah.
It was right next to it's a sushi place right next to Home and Away. It's like right down the
Okay.
corner. And it was ungodly good. I mean, I might have been on a substance that like
Makes things better.
makes things better, but it was like the roe. I don't like roe, and it was like delicious. Like
Oh.
that guy killed it. It was so good.
I'm glad.
Yeah.
I'm glad you had a great time because
I'm
he
glad.
did it in Mexicali. melting.
Yeah, it was pretty bad down
No,
there.
who also didn't have a great time?
Oh, that's a good transition.
Oh,
Me.
yeah,
I was
you've been
alone
working
at the
on it.
Loyal game.
But also, it could have been a better transition after a announced sellout. This is how this. You've seen this once, Alan. Like this
Yes.
is my manic. Just
I'm
clickety
enjoying
clackety.
this. This is great. I usually don't see this, right? I usually see like behind the scenes. This is like
And you've sat there, so you don't get like this.
the full. Yeah, this is crazy, but it's nice. Oh, there's a guy with the Chelsea kit.
Yeah, right there. That guy likes MLS.
That's why they lost.
Oh,
But yeah, so a sellout here in Torero Stadium for this. So I mean, it was the people were there. The people came out, and that's something that I'm pretty sure that they're glad because, Mother's Day, a lot of things happening in the city, soccer wise.
Yeah.
Really want to show support. But this is your starting 11 here for San Diego Loyal as they face RGV, something that all of us had claimed a victory for Loyal very prematurely. I think. Cock your head because you were like,
there was some
you
caution
said it was
there.
easy. No, you said it was easy, Alan.
You said 3-1.
I did.
3.
I did.
One,
I
yeah.
expected them to play better against RGV, and I expected RGV not to be as good. But I think this again shows that you can't sleep on anyone in the Western Conference, except for maybe OC right now. They're not doing well. But even them, like, they gave us a good run. So not super surprising. I do like this picture because these. So when I see these, I always like who's smiling and who's not smiling.
Yeah.
And like, is it a choice not to smile, or is that like they're like?
It's a choice.
You know what I mean? Like, like Colin Martin looks like the most like natural. I mean, Ronaldo a little bit too, but like M usually has like a giant smile on his face, but in the picture, I always got to look tough. And then there's Guido
and Koke.
and Koke for now.
Koke, who maybe people found his weakness, and we'll get into that. But yeah, starting lineup, it's a solid one, right? Charlie Adams, clearly a player that you want in that midfield at all times. I don't think Adrian Perez is going to be the top choice when it comes to a wingback position. I think liability-wise, he's that in defense in the transition. But when I got to the stadium, the vibe was there. I mean, you can sense that people were there to show up because of all the rumors that were happening during the week, right?
Yep.
You have the statement from Andrew Basiliades. I don't know if Tony wants to pull that up so we can touch base on that as well. But I was talking around with a lot of people, and everyone was really hyped for this game. And I honestly thought, oh, man, how great would it be if Loyal do win like 3-4-0 this game, 3-1 like Alan predicted. Like, that would be base scenario. And once the game started, it didn't seem that way. It was rough. The first half was very rough for sure.
Yeah, it was not pretty. It was not something you would expect from Loyal. I mean, they were talking about like how important it was to get the first goal, which is like, I don't want to say it's like standard play-by-play, hey, the first goal is really important. And it is, like, yeah, of course it is. When you have a game that's low scoring like soccer, getting the first goal is important. It was frustrating because I don't think they played necessarily like poorly. It just wasn't good. Like, it wasn't like they were pooping the bed bad. It was just like not great. And some of it, like on the offensive side, I noticed like Ronaldo Damas needs the ball sooner.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he wants the ball sooner, and they just keep not doing it.
There's instances where in the back line, they're still trying to play from the back. There's times where sometimes it's just better to clear the ball out if you're in trouble. I mean, I think one or two of these goals happen. They try to play from the back, and they manage to get out a little bit, and then they lose the ball 3/4 into getting to midfield, and then you get kind of counterattacked, or you get a play, and you get scored. I mean, you got scored on 3 goals in 13 minutes.
Yeah. And RGV was, like, really clean on their tackles. Like, I have never seen a team go to ground that often and, like, win the ball as frequently as they did in this match. It was crazy. Like, every time they go to the ground. I guess it's like a little bit unfortunate, but, like...
Yeah. And it's, like, le rebota, no, Tony?
Yeah, no, it rebounds off of the defender. The ball is fortunate to have found itself in that position to get struck in such a way, because it's a good strike. It's a very well placed shot. Not a lot to do in this one necessarily, because again, like, it's a well placed shot.
Cameron Riley got there a little late. Like, he got beat, and I mean, I know we love Cameron Riley, but he honestly got beat in that he maybe, I don't know, just got outplayed there. But unfortunate rebound, and it's just a well placed shot too. Like, I don't know if that's a hard shot to stop.
Did anybody pick US on the USL show or across RGV?
I'm not sure this was one of the ones on the docket this week. We only picked 10, and some of those are USL League One. And we try to pick like the more marquee matchups. Not that, San Diego's never not a marquee matchup, but San Diego RGV wasn't the highlight of this weekend, like San Antonio Charleston, which ended up being a bloodbath that no one saw coming.
So this one right here is I think what you were saying to you about is this play is what ends up being that second goal. And I think just let it play out, right? Like, it's still playing out the back, the same San Diego Loyal style that they have stuck with pretty much their history. Nate ball, Miller ball, however you want to say it. You lose it here in midfield, right? So you've already played the ball, and you've already played possession based in your own final third, you lose it in the midfield, right? Like for me, leave that outside, leave that in the midfield, lose the ball in the midfield. That's a better place, but you're not even coming out of your last third and you're losing it. And so the one thing about these extended highlights is that it sometimes gives you the bigger picture. As far as where I think that you kind of look back, if it's VAR, right? Like if there's a foul there, you still count that foul towards the end play, right? Yeah. And so there's a moment here. Where is it? Where is it? Yago Sacado? No. Right here, right? This ball needs to be cleared out instead of being played. Like I think that's not even nitpicky. It's a detail, but that's still part of that philosophy of trying to play out the back. You're getting pressured.
Yeah.
It was working for a little bit, but then you're already having numbers pinned back. This is Tumi Moshobani playing it out in his own corner. And personally, I've never been a fan of this style because it leads to this. You've already played so well in possession and had the ball and maintained possession very well there. I would just like that to be moved into the midfield where you do that. Because then when you lose the ball closer to the center, it's not as dangerous. You lose the ball there. Unlucky bounce again. An unlucky bounce, but one thing just sort of leads to another. And that's just, for me, very safe defending where it says, well, just clear it. Get out of here. I don't need this. Like, Sakala, get out.
And playing out the back can be a very simple style of play, but the whole team needs to be in sync with each other. Because if it's not, then stuff like this is going to happen, where a player gets by themselves in the midfield and then they get closed in by 3 players, you're going to end up losing the ball. Alan, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think anyone wants Tumi Moshobani dribbling the ball 6 feet away from the end. You know what I mean? Like, that's not a place that you want to see him. You want to see him further up the pitch. Like, I get the philosophy of, like, dribbling out of the back. Like, I get it. It's very, like, Pep Barcelona. But, like, this isn't Pep's Barcelona team that could, like, you know, there's guys on the team that could probably dribble out of pressure. Like if that's Colin Martin instead of Tumi Moshobani, sure. And Tumi pulls out a pretty good pass.
Yeah, no, he does. Yeah.
So like, I'm gonna give him some credit that he didn't try to force something crazier.
But because he's back there, he wasn't able to help up here already. So that's
and
the
then
issue.
Guido gets surrounded by 4 guys. His touch sends him backwards instead of forward to where his pass was, and all of a sudden he's closed off, and then it's RGV's off to the races, which they're pretty good at. Oopsie daisy.
The worst cross I've ever seen. I kept telling people.
Wait. Is that a great cross or the greatest cross?
It's a bad cross.
It's.
And,
oh my.
And people were asking me back there, do you guys think he meant to do that? I'm like, no, he did not mean to do that. That's a clear cross. And he was the first. Someone asked him, did you mean to do that? He's like, oh no, that was a cross, 100%. Like he said, he tried to cross it to the second post and it just went in. And that's happened before in soccer. I mean, I remember the one I remember the most is Bernardo Medina with Chivas. Tony he does a cross and it was an important goal. And it happens.
And that's such a hard shot because it's curling, right? It's like curling and twisting. And as a goalkeeper, you're coming out expecting to like wait for it to come across. Yeah. And so all of a sudden you're like, oh, poop, that's on target. And now I have to try and make a save on that. Like, I don't envy that goalkeeper because that's kind of a rude shot, right? Like,
yeah. I mean, like in this, like he's not even looking at the goal. Like he's trying to get this ball all the way over to Elijah Martin, and Elijah's like, all right, I'll take it. There's not a lot of power. It's just high. It's floated, and the USL ball is actually pretty light. So any type of effect that you put on it, it's going to lose power very quickly. So it's just going to dip down. So, fortunate goal.
We're going to watch this in slow motion.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I mean,
yeah, I guess we can.
You're going to take those though, right? Like again, over the course of the season, you're going to take those because that's like the Tulsa match. Like if you don't let 3 in, that goal is like what saves you a point at one point. But they're just not.
Just how you get unlucky in some of the goals that you got scored on. You get lucky in some of the goals you scored on as well. And props to RGB because they played this counter very well. Like, they played it great.
A lot of space there. And again, it's 2-1. San Diego Loyals just had a chance, just kind of got back into the game, and then boom. You're right out of it.
Can Koke do more there?
Oof. Here's the thing. It's the exact same placement and the exact same shot, the exact same way he throws himself. I don't know if bottom left might not be Koke's strong suit.
Right? It's like Achilles heel almost. And I don't know if he just isn't seeing the ball that placed that well. Like, it's not like there's tons of traffic. It's just a low, hard shot to his left. And maybe he's just giving up too much space. He's trying to stay a little bit more central.
Does he go in between Kyle Adams' legs?
Let's check it out. Kyle Adams right there. He just kind of turns around. That's Kyle Adams. It's very blurry. USL's cameras.
High quality, those cameras.
Because if it goes in between his legs, I mean, the part of it, he's blocking Koke's vision, right? And I kind of want to sympathize with Koke because that's also a hard, low shot to stop.
It bounces right before, too.
It does.
Yeah. It takes an awkward bounce right before. And Koke is, he's diving to his left, but he's also diving to his back. And that's sometimes what happens when you're reacting, where you're trying to, you don't know, and you mostly like kind of fall backwards instead of going directly to the side.
Yeah, and that's one of those ones where it's like there's like probably a soccer ball width of space that he put that in. There's
another well placed shot.
Yes, you want your goalkeeper to stop. Like Koke 3 weeks ago saves that shot.
And Koke did save some shots in this game as well. Let's give him credit where it is. He had some great saves. But it just wasn't the prettiest game for San Diego, and it's unfortunate that it had to be this game. And that's the question I asked Nate, right? Do you think maybe all these emotions maybe played an impact in the game? And he just said no, but he didn't know what happened. He doesn't know what went wrong, and he'll figure it out. He'll be the first to tell you that he's gonna find out what happened. But overall, it was just not a pretty game. You get a penalty that probably wasn't much of a foul at the end. And Joe Corona just banks it in. And, I mean, he looks like he's going to be the go-to when it comes to penalties if he's on the field.
Yeah.
Listen to Coach Nate Miller.
From the bottom of my heart, like what I saw today, what we witnessed with our team, even when we were down and the stadium got louder and they're here for us, this is a football club that's about the fans. It's not about, it's not a corporate thing. This football club is about a community, about the fans, and about us showcasing what this city is about on the field. And it is an amazing people support this club. When we're thanking the fans afterward, you can see how much of a connection they have with the players.
Yes, sir.
We're so grateful for them. They are the fabric of this club. And it's incredible to see, and it's been incredible to live now for 3.5 years. But just in a short-term span, I'm just extremely disappointed that we didn't reflect their passion, their energy on the pitch today in the first half, and that's it's just sad.
Out of all the games to lose, like this one, I really wish they would have won it. Honestly, the chaotic person in me, win 5-0, win the championship. Like, let's go. Like, let's do that. But
I was telling people this is just music to MLS's ears right now. But it's still a long season. You're still what, second place in the West or third, fourth? They dropped to fourth.
I think I dropped to fourth.
Ay, mamita querida.
But is that the game, or is like after the announcement on Thursday that someone leaked today?
Well, considering this is the only home match in May, this was the game.
Yeah,
they're in fourth.
And it's not gonna get easier.
No.
You have Miami up next.
Miami's a weird team though, because like Miami at home. So the future of San Diego Loyal is Miami at home. They have like 4 fans that show up. And last year they were not great at home. Like they were way better on the road than at home. This year they are looking better at home. But and they're a pretty good squad. They're not like terrible.
These Eastern side teams are just nothing like the Western teams.
I mean, I think there's a couple of East Coast teams that I think, would do well in the Western Conference, right? You got your Little Cities, your Tampa Bay, who's turned the corner and figured it out. The Battery is like a revelation this year. They were garbage last year, but they hired one of the best, they let go one of the best coaches. But
they got better.
They kind of restarted. Legion is a pretty solid team, but the rest of them are kind of hit and miss, right?
Mm-hmm.
Pittsburgh is not always consistent. They have a USL. If there's like a Hall of Fame for USL coaches, the Pittsburgh Riverbands coach would be one of those. He's been in the league forever, Bob Lilly. But they're just kind of inconsistent. But he takes players from nowhere and makes them names, and then other teams buy them, like Loyal.
I mean, yeah.
We had two of them, right?
Two.
That did not live up to the hype that they had in Pittsburgh. So, I mean, credit to him, but I know he's not the easiest coach to play for. I've had players tell me I would never play for a Bob Lilly team because he's intense. Like I'm not sure I would like him. But it's going to be an interesting flight. They're going to have a lot to think about. And you're right. You claim that your home is a fortress and then you lose 2 in a row. It's problematic, right? Like your fans are going to be upset. I don't think the Padres playing poorly is really
just helping the aura of San Diego. Yeah.
Right. There's like everyone's grumpy about the baseball, so they're also going to be grumpy about the soccer.
And grumpy about potentially losing your team just overall, right? Like, or whatever this may mean. And
before we get into the statement, let's just make a prediction for this game.
Okay.
Does San Diego Loyal bounce back and beat Miami?
With the way they're playing right now, I'm gonna go with a draw. I think going on the road, it's gonna be, a tough travel all the way east. You're going to Florida, which is a terrible place in general.
Cool.
Don't go to Florida.
Don't go to Florida. I think it's going to be a tough week for them. I think there's going to be a lot of pressure on them, so I don't think that's going to necessarily bode well for their mental state, and they're losing a day of practice for that long travel. And so, if it's a 2-2 draw, I think most people will probably be happy with that, right? Draw on the road. It's an Eastern Conference, so there's not like huge implications.
Yeah.
I would love to see Evan Conway start to find his way back. Because I think missing him and missing Charlie has been a really tough go, right?
That was a 1-2 punch.
Right.
It really was. They complemented each other so well.
And you can tell Nick Moon was missing in this game too.
Yeah, you're just missing like some of your key pieces. And I mean, that's no excuse, right? Like injuries happen and you're
Red
playing.
cards happen.
Yeah, and you're playing one of the teams at the bottom end of the Western Conference. And so you would expect a team like Loyal to be able to perform even with injuries. Camden Riley maybe he's been a good player for the team, but maybe some of his center backing wasn't as solid as it has been.
Yeah.
And then your midfield, like Joe Corona has like been amazing. Like he's getting way better even. But you're still missing Charlie Adams and that 1-2 punch that they give, and then putting the 2 strikers up top. I think, a lot of pressure has been put on Ronaldo.
I think Guido hasn't found his rhythm back either from injury.
Yeah.
I think he hopefully he finds it soon, but he's not 100% yet where he's able to put that 90-minute shift and at the top level that we've seen him play before.
So that's what worries me, right? Like you're poised to be a championship level team. You're poised to go into the playoffs, and I mean, this is something that happens with every team, but you're seeing it again with San Diego Loyal with like key players, and now it's early in the season, right? Like there's still time for everybody to recover and come back. And I know you like him, I know you love him, but the white flag of Morgan Hatworth to be like, come on, dude, like. I know he's not the option, and when he's the resort that you have to go into, sometimes it's like, okay, well, this is the reality of the fitness levels of the team, right? And if everybody was healthy, I doubt Morgan Hatworth makes an appearance in that match, but
no, not unless you're up like 3-1, right? Like, that's where Morgan Hatworth comes in handy. He can give you minutes, so you're not burning legs of your key attackers if you're up late and you need a guy to.
And he's a guy that you can throw in the defense, in the midfield. You can really throw him anywhere. He's gonna run, but like you said, if you're going to resort to him to make an impact in the game and change it, it's not gonna happen.
Yeah.
I think San Diego Loyal loses another match. Just one more match. They'll figure themselves out. But unless some key players start coming in, and even if they start coming back, right? Like, will they find their rhythm? Will they come back and do that? What they did in the beginning of the season, I'm not sure. So I think this match is going to be a tough one. Going all the way across the country. This is part of the thing that Nate Miller was talking about. The most traveled soccer team in the world is San Diego Loyal. So they've already had a couple of trips up to Seattle. They had a tough one. They had that's not an easy flight up to the Pacific Northwest. They've had to go into different places this year already. But Florida is it's a factor, right? Like it definitely is a factor. So I think San Diego Loyal loses another match. I mean, let's keep it even, maybe 2-1, close game.
I think they win, guys.
Oh,
I think they bounce back.
Wow, positive Chiva.
All right,
I
like
think they
Chiva.
bounce back. They're gonna win 2-1. I think maybe it's gonna be a close one, but I think they are going to get 3 points on the road here. I'm not convinced on Miami, even though they sit 7th in the East. That's not as impressive as being anywhere near the top 4 in the West.
That's what's been crazy too. Like Loyal has not been playing particularly well, and they're still 4th place. They're still in a home playoff match. If the season ended today, especially with how way El Paso's been playing, San Antonio's been up and down, but Sacramento's been really good.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think Sacramento gave up like 2 goals in their first like 8 matches or something stupid like that.
That is a really good team right now.
Yeah.
Like it's one of the best teams I've seen in the USL.
Yeah.
Like it's really good. The great Alandowski making an appearance in the garage. All right. You did jinx Wacha, as I call it, Washa.
Oh, he gave up a hit.
Gave up a hit in the 8th.
Oh,
Lost a no-hitter.
Bummer.
How about Atletico ST? We'll get into that. But yeah.
Let's dive into this statement.
Do we want to? How do you feel about?
How
do you feel about this as the person that is wearing a San Diego Loyal sweater that has been maybe categorized as perhaps a San Diego Loyal homer?
The person that was directly told to not bring loyal
gear.
to
Loyal
games.
gear. Do not support this team. You are part of the media. Be professional, Alan. How do you
Can't
feel
wear
about
that here, bro. What do you
everything? Because I mean, stripped down to everything. Are you a Loyal fan?
I mean, yes. Like
Okay.
I think,
Fair.
and it boils down to like why I got into USL to begin with, right? It was you are told as a fan that if you want to support the growth of soccer in the United States, you go support local soccer. And I went to a couple of Albion games. So as soon as Loyal started, I was like, yeah, I'm all in. Like, let's get season tickets. Let's support. Like, to be transparent.
Tickets.
Yeah, I buy season tickets and I like never use them.
Yeah, because you get media credentials.
Right. But it's one of those, like, you put your money where your mouth is, right? Like if you are claiming that you want to build soccer in the United States and you want to support local soccer, like put your money where your mouth is. Like support it with financially. And like I've made some of my thoughts about MLS known. Like I'm not a huge fan of the league in general. I've seen what they've done to some communities, with Columbus and that whole shenanigans with Austin was well documented.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to begrudge people for supporting MLS. Like I'm not going to be like, you're an idiot. I hate you. Please don't talk to me. I'm just not super hyped. And I think a lot of it boils down to like the ownership group, like St. Louis.
Yeah.
They made some changes in their front office of their ownership group after some fan backlash from the community. And I think they kind of turned it around the right way. The way that Minnesota is a similar ownership group. So they were building something and then taking the fans with them on their journey. But I think this like there's some problematic things that came out on the internet about the prospective owner, which, seems counterproductive to what the main mission of a lot of the supporters in this area will be for.
Mm-hmm.
But as we've talked about before with like politics and sports, is there's always the other side, right? There's people who are going to be like, oh, he's conservative, so he supports the things that I believe in, and I'm going to go to games because I politically identify with the owner.
Mm-hmm.
And people need to make their own decisions about that. And I think it's great that maybe there's two different avenues for people to support soccer in San Diego. Like I was talking to Sarah yesterday because we were watching the British Bake Off, but the kids version.
Okay.
And this kid was like, I'm from Liverpool. And then he's like, oh, so you like Liverpool? He's like, she's like, no, I'm an Everton supporter. I was like, no,
poor little
I hope you get voted off for the first. But it was really funny because my wife goes, wait, she's from Liverpool, but she supports Everton. I was like, well, Everton's from Liverpool or the blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Here's how close their stadiums are. It's like 100 meters or 1,000 meters. It's like stupid close. Gutterson Park and Anfield. They're like stupid close. Like stupid close. And so I know like Liverpool is a large city. It's like, it's I mean, you can even see like it's the right thing. Yeah, a mile by street by I think like
0.9 miles.
Yeah, by the crow has the crows fly
kilometers. That's England.
It's like 1,000. It's like 1,000 kilometers as the crow flies. It's like 963 or something stupid like that. It's like
that's crazy.
I think
it's an 18-minute walk.
There's going to be people who are going to show up from MLS because they're going to show up for MLS because it's MLS. Like we see that on Twitter. There's people who are going to support it because it's like the highest league, whatever. The problem I have with that is like people compare it to Wave. The male version of Alex Morgan will not be playing for the San Diego team.
True. Yeah.
Like,
100%.
Let's be real. Like NWSL is legitimately like you're getting the best in the world.
Yes.
Playing in
100%.
San Diego. Like Sheridan. Like, those are some of the like top of the top. Like these are the World Cup winners. These are the best soccer players in the world playing in San Diego.
Yeah.
The male version of that will be playing in San Diego when they're like 40 or when they're like 16, right? You're not going to get Alex Morgan in her prime in San Diego MLS. So let's put the perspective where it is, right? Like the level of play. And I've seen like level of play is better in MLS and USL. And I think there's an argument there depending on how good your MLS team is. I do think a lot of people are going to be happy, and I don't begrudge them, but I do think for those people who want that community, that want that, the players jumping up and signing autographs for hours, going to community events and being available for you, like the entire team. I think there's going to be some things that are going to attract people to USL and to San Diego Loyal, that they can offer something different, much like USL offers something different to fans than MLS. And I do appreciate Andrew Vasiliadis saying, hey, we're going to be here. We're committed to being here. And I do think that there's going to be a core group of people who will not support the MLS club. And San Diego Loyal needs to make sure that they're doing what's best by those fans to provide something for them as well. Just like San Diego Soccers do a great job of that for their community.
Yeah.
Right. And so I think these soccer clubs can coexist. It's just going to look different. And I think some fans are going to be turned off because it won't be like sellouts every week. It won't be 6,000 people every week, but it might be like 2 or 3 really, really, really rabid fans, 2,000 or 3,000 really, really rabid fans who are super passionate and continue to have that community. And then sometimes they go to MLS games. Just like there's going to be MLS fans who are like, oh, it's an off week, but Loyal's in town. Let's go check them out.
I talked to Andrew after the game. I mean, I started with, how's the kid? You know, like, kid's doing great. He told me, yeah, despite everything happening, I'm blessed to have him. I'm happy I have my son. I said, yeah, man, honestly, like, how are you holding up, though, with all this stuff happening? He said, hanging in there, and he said, as long as the community keeps showing the support, we're gonna do what's right. I'm all about that, and when you have a conversation with someone, you see their eyes, they're genuine feelings about it, right? And Andrew is that with San Diego, and I just told him, we appreciate you. You've given us your time to come on the podcast. You've listened to the people. You literally have people go to the sidelines and explain to them, give them tours himself. So you don't get that with MLS for sure. And I mean, it's the pros and the cons and things.
Right.
So in general, I think it'll be huge for the city, but for what the community is that San Diego Loyal has built, it's like a stab in the back, really.
Yeah.
And what would you have thought if they had said, like, all right, you're MLS Next Club?
I think San Diego Loyal says no. We're not.
No, I mean,
that.
But where's that line, right? Again, you have the side of like, I feel for the people, like fought for Soccer City. You want MLS? They poured their soul into it, and they didn't get it. Now they're supporters and built San Diego Loyal, and then MLS comes in. You got what you wish for. Monkey paw, like it's there. I feel very bad for the people who have to deal with this conflict in their hearts. I think, like I said, I'm emotionally removed enough to like, and that's to say, I'm not thankful. I'm not just thankful for everybody who's just given us opportunity at Loyal, but like our thing has always been the World Cup.
Yeah.
And like, if I have to be made to choose, it's not forgotten that everybody has put us in this position from 1904, from Albion, from Soccer, from San Diego Loyal, from, Inter over in the UPSL, from, everybody listening, sharing, like, and now you have a chance for an MLS club to vet us as an outlet and say, hey, like, no, these guys are legitimate. FIFA, pay attention. And all of this, when we're talking about the stories that are coming out, right? Like,
yeah.
Our goal is to make it to a tournament held by a super corrupt entity.
Yeah.
Scratch this, 2026. This is
into this,
allegedly. But that's what I'm a Chelsea fan, dude.
Yeah.
Like,
dinero.
And I think this is a conversation I think NWSL was having a couple years ago. Was like, who do you take money from, and like, how careful do you have to be with your sponsorships with your fans? Like, I mean, we've seen some stuff like as small as, I shouldn't say as small as, but like local USL clubs like getting mad that some of their sponsorships are by Chick-fil-A and like holding them, trying to hold them accountable, let alone like Qatari government, you know what I mean? Like it's like a completely different, and it's a different amount of money too, right? Like you're talking about like NWSL was trying to like really build this into, and continue to build, and there weren't a ton of people willing to commit money to NWSL, and so like if Qatari Airlines or Emirates Airlines is going to come in and give you some funds, like, this is like, holy crap, like we can like be substantially like financially solvent for a while. Or do you say, hey, morally, we kind of oppose the sports washing thing? And I think San Diego fans are going through that same type of like, we don't like the system, we don't like the sports washing, but it's also a San Diego MLS team. You know what I mean? Like, and so like, and like I said, I'm not going to like, poo people for like I've watched MLS. I've enjoyed it. I watched Carlos Vela score a hat trick on the last game of the season against Colorado a couple years ago to secure the Golden Boot, and it's fun. Like, it's enjoyable. It's not like it's like not good soccer.
Yeah,
it's just I think a lot of people are going through that existential crisis of what does it mean to support MLS over this team that I've committed myself to, knowing. The same thing I think people thought about with NWSL with the owner who came, to town from Sacramento. Like, people had to like, I'm supporting this club, but there's some problematic owner. Some people had some issues with Jill Ellis and what did she know and when did she know it, right? Like, there was a lot of people who had some issues with supporting that club, not because of the people on the pitch. And I think that's where people are now too, right? Until they start signing players and start like trying to get out in the community. I've heard they've like talked to some people like, hey, I talked to some of the people from the front office. It's like, that's cool. Like, awesome. Like, but maybe, I don't know, do more of that or do it sooner than you've done as opposed to like after the announcement, right? But I guess, Loyal didn't really do a ton of it before their announcement. So I think there's a lot of things to withhold judgment on for this MLS club, and it would rightly so, right? The same things we withheld judgment on for San Diego Loyal was, are they going to do this right? Are they going to do that right? When we call them out for doing things poorly, are they going to listen? I think that's another thing that fans are, say what you will about some of the stuff San Diego Loyal's done. Like, they've been relatively responsive to issues that were brought up from their fan base. Is the MLS club going to do something similar?
I mean, it's a lot to kind of handle and process because this happened relatively fast too.
Yeah.
I mean, we knew the Chargers were going to leave for a while. Like, there were rumors of this and this. MLS has always been rumored with San Diego, right? But I don't know if the Atman in the Brahman is going to be respected. It's very Hindu Sanskrit. It's just the force. Right?
I haven't gotten there in Babel yet.
Yeah. You haven't gone into the Sanskrit of the Upanishads, the Bhagavad Gita.
What is going on right now?
I have no idea.
Anywho, I mean, I think that's fair, and I think like you're kind of in acceptance already. Like, did you grieve? Was there a grieving process? Are you still like? I know you have a lot of contacts with other people in the USL. Are they checking like, hey?
Yeah, okay? Someone me message, are you okay? I was like, yeah. I mean, I don't think it's going to affect how I feel about anything, right? Like, I'm not going to approach what I like to do any differently because MLS is in town. You know what I mean? Like, it might mean there's a few more soccer games that I have to convince my wife to let me go to. But you know what I mean? Like, I've been following USL for quite some time.
Yeah.
And so I feel connected to that league, right? Like, MLS will be like the thing that I do for fun occasionally. I'm not sure that I will ever buy season tickets to the MLS team.
Mm-hmm. Me neither.
And I'm going to continue to support and show up for Loyal matches until like they no longer exist.
Hey, Alan Underwood, loyal to the soil.
Hey, someday we will no longer exist.
Yeah, I mean, everything comes to an end, right? Like, and it might be 2 years from now, it might be 10 years from now. Like, I think that's the other thing to consider is like they're going to announce it, but it's going to be years before they start playing. And so there's still a lot of really fun soccer to enjoy, right? Like,
for sure.
And enjoy that ride while it's happening, right? Like, get in it, enjoy it, do what you want to do with it, and really show the support of what it is while you still have what you love. And if it goes away, it goes away. If it stays for a while, then great. Like, continuing to enjoy that ride. And I think that's going to be my approach. Like, I was a little bit bitter at the beginning. I think, things on Twitter about who the owner, Mohamed Mansour, is and what he represents. I think there's going to be some people who have some problems with that, and that's going to drive some people away. And again, offer what you're going to offer as a club. But I've kind of come to peace. Like, it's going to happen. People are going to be excited about it, which is great. Like, people are excited about soccer. Cool. Like, I used to be there too, right? I used to be like, what's this thing? How do I get into it? And so if it's an avenue for people to explore soccer that they haven't done before, then great. And some people have goals of World Cup, and I have goals of probably purchasing a ticket to go to the World Cup because I don't think the USL show is going to be.
Hey, man.
I mean, unless it's like, let's be real. Like, unless it's like Honduras makes it and there's like 4 USL players playing in a round, I'd be like, maybe I can get in to like cover USL players. But like, I mean, it is. I mean, I shouldn't say it is what it is. That's a terrible phrase. But like, the people who are going to support it are going to support it. You make your choice and just go 100%. Like, just go all in. And while USL Loyal's here, enjoy the ride because they're going to put on a show, right? Like, they're going to be competitive. They're going to put money behind it. At least for the next couple years, you're going to have what you have now. And so instead of being like all bummed out about what might be happening or angry about what might be happening or happy about what might be happening, like let's have some fun with what we have while we have it.
Oh, that's definitely true. And I think, Thursday is the 18th. That's mark your calendars. Sources say on Saturday the 20th, there's also going to be a
little something
shindig of sorts that'll be more open to people. So I mean, I think it's just here. We can accept it, move forward, and cherish what you had, because and with the president of Loyal, with the ownership before, like they were always very clear, like one day, like this is all you're gonna wish you were here. And in a way, I was like, hey, dude, like it's pretty aggressive, but like, yeah, like it's there for a lot of reasons. It was accessible, and again, you mentioned the opportunities, right? Like it's a lot of incoming people, and for us, like if there's if Fair Weather Podcast comes up and it covers MLS, like by all means, like that's fine. If new things spring up, that's fine. As far as competition for us, the competition that I have in mind is like CBS is going to get like a legit, like, person who knows, like all these people are going to start coming into the city that like, all right, they know their stuff. And now,
I think that's the frustrating part too, is like UT is like finally writing articles about soccer and you're like,
who would have thought?
Yeah. But I mean, and I think some of that we've been found out is like kind of paid media, right? Like, and so when you have,
hooray for unpaid media,
billions of dollars, you can do that, right? Like you can pay someone to write an article for you in a newspaper. That's a terrible picture, the Spurs one.
Yeah. See, again, like, do we really need to be showcasing this as San Diego guys? Like, let's soccer for everybody in San Diego, but no, not this abhorrent.
Oh, that's Wesley posted that.
Yeah, come on, Weston. Don't bring your.
I'm okay with your dog being called Lloris or Hugo, but not both. No.
I mean, I think if it's, some of that stuff's cool where people are making like, I'm going to tie my two favorite things together or two favorite clubs together. I get it. But I mean, it's probably going to be something boring like FC San Diego. We're probably going to get white shirts with like whatever boring corporate sponsor on it because it's Nike, and Nike doesn't do anything fun with kit, or Adidas doesn't do anything fun with kits in MLS.
Yeah, they do. They copy Roots. Exciting.
We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
I mean, anything else for MLS, at least here? Because if more breaking news does happen and develops, keep an eye on the Twitter feed. We've got green light to not leak, because nothing is leaked at this point. Everything's already been sort of leaked, but solidified.
You're leaking Ronaldo Damas to San Diego Loyal?
Oh, our leaking days are, we learned, like we've been prepped. We've been prepped on how to do things like that, but these are all rumors until it happens, right? Oh man, but there's still soccer here in San Diego, as you said. Do you want to stay for Wave?
Sure, I watched a little bit of it, and I enjoyed the fact that they won. That was nice to see them. It's talking about a bounce back, right? Like this is what you want Loyal to do. Wave.
Again, this is things that you'd never see.
Wave FC.
It's their first win without Emily Van Egmond. So that's this season at least. So that's huge. But it's still a game that they didn't have the possession. You have the starting lineup, right? And it's going to be Kalen Sheridan, who arguably the best goalkeeper in the world.
Yes.
The backline has been the same. It's McNabb, Girma, Kylie Rio, and Westphal. Still no.
Westphal coming back after being absolutely destroyed last week.
Dahlkemper, that's her name. She hasn't played so much that I'm forgetting her name, Alan.
Sorry.
She's still injured.
The first wave.
The first game, right? Like halfway through the. Yeah, I remember that. I was like, that is kind of a bummer. And then Alex Morgan scored 42 penalty kicks that match. That was fun.
Alex, man. But yeah, so then Sierra Angie getting her NWSL debut. She played at the Challenge Cup, but getting her league debut. So check her out. We have a player from San Diego Wave.
Nice.
Belle Breedy, who plays in that midfield, Calaprico, who has been very, very, very important there in that midfield, especially with Van Egmond. Those two together are pretty tough as far as to get through, and they are able to recover that ball. Rachel Hill, Alex Morgan, and Sophia Jakobsen up top. So
Mira Lee, Jaden Shaw coming off the bench, getting some rest, not the full 90. Also, our friend of the podcast,
again,
goalkeeper.
Oh, Lauren Brisky,
not on the bench. Giannis replaced her already.
Oh man, well, can't get them all. But yeah, so San Diego Wave again trying to get a bounce back win here. Talking with Casey Stoney in the middle of the week, she knew that there was just a lot of tactical issues and just small things that needed to be addressed. They lost in the second half essentially in the last game, where they played very well in the first half, but they completely lost the plot and just did not have a good showing in the second half. So they tightened things up. And so here in KC, why not get a victory here where you haven't won against this team? You've tied once, you've lost once. Franch, the goalkeeper, getting knocked and tallied for an own goal. She's usually very, very good.
Yeah.
A very good goalkeeper. I've seen her in action in person, and like excellent. But a San Diego Wave team that really needed this, because they also are now in a road trip festival, because they have 3 consecutive road games. This being the second one. So San Diego soccer is happening, but not here. So again, get it while you can. Get it while it's hot. The goal already happened.
The own goal. I mean, you get off the right foot, you start winning.
We had somebody, you let me know, shall not be named, but they described Adrian Perez's goal as an NWSL goal.
Oh.
With respect.
I was about to say, like Ben Wood showing up and ringing the misogyny bell.
But yeah, so own goal here, getting one on the road. Everybody celebrates, happy smiles. Ultimately, San Diego Wave has been playing well. They're about to lose a bunch of players to the World Cup.
Was that also a low shot to the goalkeeper's left?
It was.
Cover your near post. There's nothing you can do there though. Once
No.
you're in no person's land here.
But I think that's like, yeah. I think like that ball, like
It's happened
Yeah.
in the Premier League. She's even she's like, shit, man, like
that sucks.
it
Because you did cover your near post, right?
Yeah.
Like you were like, you have to place this absolutely perfectly, and like she like didn't. She hit the post.
You laugh if that happens to you, Tony?
Oh no. I'm so upset at myself. Like oh man. But this goal is a very,
nice.
very, very good goal, I think, in comparison, right? So, Belle Breedy here getting herself on
First of
the
the
score
season
sheet.
for her too.
Correct.
Oh, look at that! Like,
Just bobbing and weaving.
yeah, takes a step up to drop. Like the defender drops, and then she's like, "Nah, just kidding." And where she put herself was like, ugh.
Yeah, right on the penalty spot. Belle Breedy, and again, you create this chaos in a sense in the box, right? Like you're putting that pressure on, bad defensive clearance, you weave past somebody else, lift up your head, there's the pass. Like at no point was she concerned with getting that ball and turning and shooting. Like she knew, here you go.
And it's a game like this that it gives you hope that once you lose these players going in for the World Cup, that they're still going to play competitively. But you're going to lose Naomi Girmas. Who else do you put in center back if Abby Downcover is not healthy by then? Because she's probably not going to go to the World Cup. And this was just a world-class save from Sheridan. And we've seen her do this time after time. Like,
yeah, that's Dabinia taking that free kick, right?
Let me
I
be
believe so.
Craig
Yeah.
Elston. Kalen Sheridan.
Yeah, Debinha, like world class, right? And that's a great free kick. Like dipping down, like that's a hell of a free kick. And for Sheridan, for as much crap as NWSL goalkeepers get for like not being athletic and not being able to jump and all of this, like, you know, it's pretty much sexist stuff, right? But like you're watching one of the greatest goalkeepers in the world, like on either side of the gender line, right?
I mean, I'll say it. She'll give me a run for my money.
Oh,
And
shut
I
up.
mean, I've already said that Coca Vegas. I mean, I could take him on, especially how she's been playing this season.
Oh, damn. 2 weeks ago, you were like, Coca Vegas, one of the greatest goalkeepers in the USL.
Yeah, but I reassessed myself.
I mean, at the time he was, like, to be real, like shot stopping, he was like one of the best.
And speaking of Jaden Shaw, right? So we actually talked with Casey about that, and she was asked as far as like, hey, she didn't go to the under-20 U.S. national team. Why? And then she was like, no, that was my decision. I had a discussion with her as to why she's staying, and you know, it is what it is. Happy birthday, Casey Stoney. Getting those gains in.
She's ripped. She shared a picture on her personal
Did you
Instagram.
see that?
No, I have not, because I don't want to feel bad about myself.
You're not friends with Casey Stoney on Instagram?
No, so my Instagram,
So there is an Instagram, huh?
did get hit. It did get like, what is that?
Doxed.
No, it was. Oh, Jesus. Good for her.
Yeah, dude, she's ripped.
If you want to see what she looks like, I welcome you to go give her props on her Instagram.
Follow her on Instagram.
But my, I got locked out of my Instagram.
Oh, that's right. You told us this.
Yeah, and
before.
then I just never signed back up for it. And I was like, I don't want to like create a new one because it's just too much work. So I no longer have an Instagram account. Because I mean, let's be real. I barely post on Twitter or Facebook. Like Facebook's like almost dead to me. Twitter's like whatever. Now that Ben Woods is gone, there's no reason to be on Twitter anymore.
I just showed him my secret Facebook before,
Oof,
like a
man, I saw
Facebook that I
some picture of old
deactivated
Tony.
a long time ago. Oof.
Sorry, Steven Woods, not Ben Woods. Ben Woods doesn't exist. Ben and Woods is a show. Steven Woods not on Twitter anymore.
What if that's what it's just one dude that does two voices really well.
I do enjoy their YouTube now. Like they have a YouTube. I watch it on YouTube instead of whatever. And the only problem is when they do commercial breaks, it's just silent and you have to like sit there with your thoughts. I don't like that part, but
I need an engineer on that.
yeah.
Sign me up. So San Diego Wave win that 2-0. They're once again on the road. You won't see San Diego soccer for a while here in.
Yeah, they play Houston Dash next week.
Thank you.
Is that where you're
Yeah.
going to? Yeah. Yeah, they play Houston
got so
Dash
much.
next week. Houston Dash, 3 points behind Wave. They sit at 7th place. It's 12 teams in the league, right? So you go on a good run and you can hop from 10th place to 3rd place in the WSL. So it's also crucial to not lose games, and they're coming from 2 losses in a row, and this win was huge for San Diego Wave for sure. The next home game for San Diego Wave is going to be Friday, May 26th against Portland Thorns, and that's going to be a great game as well. Portland Thorns, who are a very competitive team. They did beat them already in the Challenge Cup.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens, but that'll be Friday, May 26th. But first is Houston Dash, and from what we talked to Casey Stoney and the players, they always take it one game at a time. They never get ahead on themselves, but they're also going to have a second home game, May 31st, for the Challenge Cup.
All right.
So back-to-back home games for Wave. So that's what we have for them right now. Make sure you guys are following them. Go to Snapdragon. Haven't been there in a while, actually.
I have not been to Snapdragon.
Really?
I did buy a ticket to the Gold Cup though.
Ooh, okay.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So I found an aisle seat way up at the top.
So you're going to watch Mexico in the semifinals?
I don't think that's where that part of the bracket plays though. I mean, if it is, great.
Oh.
Like I'm not really caring who I see.
Oh, is it going to be like second place or like something?
I think it's the U.S. side of the bracket is getting that semifinal. I think the other semifinal.
I think you're thinking Mexico is going to pass us first place. No, I mean, it's all the first places. Yeah. Damn, I wanted to see Mexico.
I mean,
Not
if
the
it is
US.
great, like I would love to see Mexico play. Like,
No, you don't.
no, I mean, to be real, I haven't even seen the men's national team ever play. I've only watched the women's national team.
Oh, I've seen the men's national team play.
I've
against
never,
Mexico.
I've never seen the men's national team play for any.
Yeah.
Like I've never seen.
I
men's
did.
national team
I did
play.
watch the men's
Wow.
national team beat Mexico in beach soccer in the finals for
I
CONCACAF.
saw that.
Yeah, it was nice. 5-0. My wife goes, "That looks exhausting. That sounds exhausting." I'm like, "It looks
Yeah,
exhausting."
yeah.
Like the bottom, like the lower back is just painful. So this you're seeing right now is actually somebody just DM'd us. Again, I think we're done with San Diego Wave.
Yeah.
And we'll just kind of go back into whatever we have left for MLS. People in the comments, go for it. This is your time to shine. The good boy, Esteban Toscano, just kind of sent this over. Mission San Diego SC.
That's freaking whack.
I don't know. There's potential, right?
I don't like that. I'm sorry.
It reminds me of something. I just can't put my finger on it.
So the other issue is this team is allegedly sponsored by Sequan and some
They might have
native
some
people.
exceptions.
They might not enjoy their team being named after something that
genocide,
genocide,
Yeah.
enslavement.
I don't think this will be it.
I get that. Like that's anytime you talk about San Diego, it's like something about surf and something about missions. I get it. At least
What else is San Diego though? What else is San Diego? That's we've
Right.
had this debate. Like, is it Shamu? Is it the zoo? Literal animal enslavement? I mean, how far do you want to go?
I think that's the problem, right? And I think that's why maybe they're just gonna go with like kind of a boring San Diego FC.
San Diego United.
I mean, that's kind of lying, but I get the desire to go to Mission because I do think it is something that's like people point out about San Diego.
Damn, imagine they do something like Comic-Con related. That'd be cool.
No, no, I would not like that. Oh, what's up? Somebody DM'd us again. Oh, it's Tony. Oh, what's up, Tony? Again, that looks familiar.
Yeah, San Diego Waves.
I don't
I
know.
mean-
I don't like that. I don't.
Yeah,
Maybe by then Adidas won't be a sponsor of the MLS anymore.
I do appreciate that this person included the 3 stripes on the shoulder. And the only problem though is Adidas would never allow that wave on the front. I think if Loyal exists, I don't think you see this color.
Oh no.
Like I think there'd be like lawsuits.
I don't think Stone would be the main sponsor. Are they
Story-
going to be the main sponsor?
Oh, I mean, I don't know.
But I mean, yeah, what do you call a team from San Diego?
What is San Diego? Coronado Bridge,
Which is also
which
problematic.
is problematic because of Chicano Park. The Chicano Park's very exclusive of everybody who's not Chicano.
Although
Not everybody's at the beach.
there is the missions already in baseball, and they do have like one of the best like the chanclas when they do.
Oh yes.
That is pretty fun.
But then you're getting into Footy McFoot territory.
right, and you're harkening back to Soccer City.
Yeah.
I mean,
AFC San Diego is going to be it.
yeah,
Basic.
it's gonna be
It's going to be something basic. It's not going to be anything exciting.
Cali burritos.
I
Some
like
people
that.
don't like French fries in their burritos, or just in general. I'm not a big fan of.
So why did you say some people? Just say just okay. You're okay. We're amongst
some
friends.
Some people.
We're amongst friends. Hey,
I just
it's okay.
like I prefer just a carne asada burrito.
What if I
Like,
put some hash browns in instead of?
depends on how crispy they are.
They're crispy.
Okay, then I'm down for that. The problem I have with like some of the French fries is they're like too potatoey, and so it's just like super starchy, and I don't
Okay.
want, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I want like if they're like smaller French fries that are more like crunch to them, like fried. I'm great.
Let's see. At least it says mountains to beach, outside, happy, San Diego, expensive. The San Diego rents.
Well, they're gonna be paying rent.
Chivas USA, bring them back.
No.
I didn't even root for Chivas.
Hey,
yesterday.
our boy Jimmy Conrad is spreading lies on his podcast. I mean, it's okay. We need to educate him about what's going on with Loyal and MLS and all that.
Are you gonna
That's
watch the Liga MX semifinals?
Maybe it's what Tigres made it through.
Tigres,
And-
Monterrey. They're both rivalry matches.
Oh, and
Like they're both derbies. Like
They're
they're
derbies.
both.
It's
It's
the Monterrey
literally
derby. They call
Liverpool.
it Clásico Regio, and then Chivas América is.
I think I saw that there were going to be some. I caught a little bit of it, but it's like there's so much to watch right now. Like it's almost too much. and-
Watch the Chivas game on Thursday.
And RuPaul's Drag Race All Stars 8 just started, and so that takes up because that. And then there's RuPaul's Drag Race, and then there's Untucked, and then there's Pit Stop, and we got to watch all those.
So
I saw a drag show recently.
Yeah.
Well, I went out to Rich's in Hillcrest.
Okay.
And it was a Sunday night, and they do drag shows Sunday
Yeah.
nights.
Yeah.
So I was there 2 weeks ago.
Nice. Did you enjoy it?
Yeah, it was cool. It
Nice.
was for my friend's sister's birthday.
All right. Friends, sisters. All right.
I caught RuPaul on Jimmy Fallon a couple of years ago in a
Okay.
clip on YouTube, and
All right.
you know Jimmy Fallon fucked up, and
All right.
that was fun. I know that they have a new season and there's new rules. I saw a trailer because there's like the
new way to
All
win.
Star,
Yeah.
like an All Star thing
Uh-huh.
coming together.
All Stars 8 started Friday.
No, it was cool. One of the
Oh, shit.
participants had earrings that were Pokemon cards. That was dope.
That's fun.
That was sick.
That's fun.
So what? I mean, I'm America's Next Top Model. I'm a Tyra guy.
That's fine. And that's why I like Drag Race because it's like that, but it's like it doesn't take itself too seriously, but it's also like they're so good. It's so fun.
I don't have cable, otherwise I'd watch it. To be
Paramount
completely
Plus,
honest.
baby.
You have access to Paramount Plus.
I
because
didn't know
of-
this.
Paramount Plus, baby.
I didn't know this. All right.
Yeah, Paramount Plus.
All right.
Although it changed every season, it changes because I think the regular one's on VH1 now. It's like MTV. It's on MTV.
okay.
It's like VH1 has some, and then MTV now has it. But yeah, Paramount Plus is where the All Stars is. Yeah, it's probably going to be one of those two.
Yeah.
San Diego FC SD.
Athletic Club San Diego.
What?
Atletico.
Athletic Club.
Atletico.
Athletic
Athletic.
Club.
Athletic.
But the problem
Big
is like
dog
that's
now.
Angel City. You're not going to be Athletic Club because that's ACFC, and that's like everyone's like, oh, that's Angel City.
That's the difficult part, and that's the thing. If you have an idea, like let Twitter people or the ether know what you think this should be called, because
Right.
the Seaport Villages, I don't know, the Midways, San Diego Midways, the San Diego Fleet was actually not a bad name for a football team. Like that was rest in peace to San Diego Fleet.
But yeah, that was a good name.
I don't know, Armada. There's always the Alta people, you know.
Alta San Diego. Yeah, I don't know. I'll be interested to see what the people who have enough money to pay $500 million can come up with.
Not me.
Yeah.
Imagine with just one of those $1 million. Just one. That's all. That's all I ask for, Mr. Mansour.
Just one.
Yeah.
Want to sponsor our podcast?
But yeah, I think we'll have a discussion of clásicos in Spanish. I think it'll be
Nice.
it'll be nice and informative. I think we'll do that as it gets closer.
Yeah, for sure.
But I think Alan, is there anything else that we need to know from you, because of you, in spite of you?
No, I'm looking forward to possibly doing this more when I actually like get to live in San Diego for more than a
I
couple
want to
nights
hear
a
his
week.
take real quick so we can just wrap up.
Oh no.
What's the Champions League final?
I think Inter makes it because AC Milan had to have like a pep talk from their ultras the other day.
Yeah, I saw that.
As much as it pains me, like I think the way Man City is playing right now is they are ungodly good, and so I think it's going to be Inter
They're
against
Himothy, like Tony calls him.
Inter versus Man City, and I kind of hope Inter wins. Like I think like an old school Italian. Like they've been like Italian soccer has been underperforming in Europe for quite some time. Both their national team, so it'll be interesting. I would like. I mean, AC Milan's having a tough time, and so I think Inter is going to get through against and play Man City.
Oof. I know last week I said Man City, but I did bet for Madrid after. I do think Madrid's gonna go through. I have a feeling. It's something about Madrid in Champions League. I just can't go against them.
They always seem to find a way, right?
It's crazy. I don't know how much they're paying UEFA, but they somehow get through all the time. Tony, is it gonna be City?
And then Chelsea's going to make sure that they win the treble by handing them the
Premier
Premier
League.
League. And then you're going to be
No, we're gonna keep
charge
them from winning
of
the
getting
FA Cup
because they're going to win the FA
No,
Cup.
we're gonna win the
because
FA Cup.
David De Gea sucks, and you guys are going to get Jordan Pickford and all that
Hey,
good stuff.
David De Gea won the Golden Glove, which is insane that he like leads the league in mistakes that mistakes that lead to goals.
Has the most clean sheets though.
That's so dumb.
It's
That's
the dumbest.
so dumb.
That's the dumbest way to determine the Golden Glove.
Screw you guys. We have the best goalkeeper in the Premier League.
Oh, sí, güey. Oh, sí, güey.
When everyone is out sick and you're the only one playing, then yes.
Yeah. If you guys played without a goalkeeper, there'd be less goals.
We need about 13 of them. Yeah.
Boys,
This is
Yeah.
a fun
Gentlemen.
one.
I love
thank you
both.
for coming in.
Yeah, of course.
Thank
Down
you,
south.
Jury duty.
Yes.
I hope they get the chair. That doesn't happen here in California, so
gosh.
we're good.
No.
For a civil case.
Yeah, for
What
a
a
2-day
civil case.
civil case just to try and get pain and suffering damages. I don't think anyone is getting the chair. I mean, they're going to get the chair in the sense that they are sitting in one.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, but
Los Misioneros de San Diego, the missionaries of San Diego,
I don't know.
Sporting San Diego FC,
SSDFC,
SSDFC.
or you can do soccer club and just make it super obnoxious. SSDSC. Isn't that what the stadium used to be called?
The bank, right?
SDCCU.
Oh, that's right.
SDCCU.
It was SDCCU. There you go.
This is new. Don't worry about it.
Thank you.
Wow.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
You're welcome. I just bought this for that.
All right.
Well, this was a fun
It's
one,
like,
guys.
all right, I can't.
I
That's
think,
enough of me
I
here.
think my mom's calling. I have to go home.
Stranger danger. All right, Alan. Thank you for everybody who joined us. We will be having more coverage here, San Diego Balompié, of this MLS expansion here in San Diego. News will be coming down on the 18th. More to come here this week. So keep your eyes open for more coverage of everything that comes in. Because again, if it's us having to ask as far as like, hey, why didn't it work? Just to get their side of things, we want to make sure that we get everybody's side, and that's only fair. Both MLS and the San Diego Loyal have their voices here, because at the end of the day, I don't care about either of them that much. I care about the people that make
All right.
this is the greater sum of the parts, and I care about the city and the sports. So let's go San Diego, just in every sense. Thank you, guys. No.